Hello, so rule number one, I think, if you're a content creator on YouTube, is don't buy anything and don't unbox anything without filming it. So that's what I'm doing. I've just received this package from England for my Norton Commando 850, and it's a pair of new carburetors of the most modern kind for that obsolete bike, made by the original carburetor company Amal, but fixing a lot of the technical problems which the carburetors the bike came with, problems that they have. Specifically, a badly positioned pilot jet which you can't access, which keeps on blocking up and causes difficult starting and poor running, especially at slow speeds. There are ways to take the old carburetors off and machine them to cure that problem. Or you buy a pair of the new kind, which are called Amal Premier carburetors. They're lighter, they're made of aluminium rather than some zinc alloy mixture. They have a pilot jet that you can actually remove to clean it. They have anodized slides, which are much lower friction, and they have, what was I saying? Oh yeah, they have floats, the fuel floats, which like in a toilet system, let the fuel into a certain height and then stop. They have fuel floats which can't get punctured and therefore stop working. They're stay up floats. So here we go, the big reveal. Here is one of them, which fits. This side goes to the engine. The tickler is here, so that means this is the right hand carburetor. I don't know if you can see it, but the slide is not silver but a dark grey anodized surface, and they are really a lot lighter than the originals. That's the pilot air screw, which on the old ones is just a tapered screw, but on these actually has the pilot jet at the end of it. So it's an Amal 932. Okay, so there's one, and the slide does move, yeah. And the other one will look exactly the same, but it's sort of not a mirror image, but it has a handedness to it. So there's the pair. They're beautiful, and they should be for the money, about £200 each. But it's quite amazing that Amal are still in business, or rather a company called Berlin Fuel Systems now owns Amal, and that you can still get brand new parts for a bike that was made in 1973. That same company actually makes carburetors going back to pre-war. Kind of more like 1903 probably, the first type that they make. Still brand new. Yeah, good. Been waiting for those for a while. Actually, I've been waiting longer than I should have, because the post system here has changed to paperless. So you used to get a card in your letterbox saying, come and collect your parcel. Now it appears on an app, and if you haven't got the app, you don't know. Great. Okay. So the first part of the carburetor job, take the tank off. It's just two nuts to remove from studs at the front. You have to take the seat off as well. And this is what you see. Spaghetti junction. This has, as you can see, isolastic mountings for the engine all over the place. Yeah. I'm sure there are a lot of wires there that are too long, or I don't know, I don't like the look of any of that. And it's a bit rusty, so at least I'll spray it with WD-40 before it all goes back together. But it's the carburetors, that's the job. I'm going to put on 2 brand new carburetors, which will hopefully solve my poor starting, terrible tick-over problems. So the first thing is clearly to get the filters off. That's surprisingly easy. Just undid the circlip and the filter more or less fell off. I was expecting trouble there. So the balance pipe between the 2 injection tracts is not on the carburetors. Of course it's on the manifolds, and I'm not expecting to have to take the manifolds off, which is great because it's really difficult apparently to clear the tappet adjuster cover bolt or nut with your Allen wrench. Okay, let's hope this continues to go easily. Now the left hand side. The 2 inner nuts are not going to be so easy. In fact, they're going to be really difficult. So the only possible way was to get 1 nut loose. This is gone now, but the nut that was on this stud, thou by thou, I managed to get it loose, which meant I could, this one was easy here to get this one off, but then I can start to move the carburetor, and once that's off, the other one will come off easily. So yeah, the right hand side carburetor proved to be the only nut I could get to move with the very tips of a spanner. I actually had to detach this fuel union pipe before I could move the carburetor at all. And having got it off the manifold, it seems that someone has used some kind of liquid jointing gasket, which is a bit nasty. There's only a tiny bit of that on the manifold though, and I should be able to get that off with a bit of rubbing. Okay, now to take the carburetor apart. I noticed it has the anodized slides, and also it has a kind of an interim fix for the air jet problem, which is this removable plug. When you take that out, it has the air jet in it, but it's completely inaccessible when the carbs are on the bike. Absolutely inaccessible. So kind of, it's almost pointless, but yeah, I suppose it shortens the job a bit. Anyway, onwards. So this one has to go on first. Needs an O-ring, needs the adapter for the filters I've got, and it needs the cable inserting and a choke blanker screwing in. So quite a few things, and then the pipe attaching at the bottom. Okay. So attaching on the fuel pipes. This is the new one of the new carburetors. So the feed pipe and the balance pipe, and I've already put on the adapter for the rubber mounted air filter. And what you can see there, just peeping out below the throttle slide, is the choke. I have to take the choke assemblies out because I haven't got choke cables fitted. I'll just keep them safe in case I decide I want to fit the chokes back in. So I've got the choke blanking plug in place, and the cable and the needle are now inside the throttle slide. So this is nearly ready to be bolted back on. I'm bolting on the new carburetor on the left hand side of the bike, and quite frankly I don't know how I'm going to get the inner nuts tight. I'm gonna obviously get them on finger tight, but then I think I'm gonna have to consult with my engineer friend for a bit of advice. Okay. Spring washer. And nut. Yeah, it's a bit of a quandary. Okay, both new carburetors are now bolted on. I'm not even going to reveal what ghastly technique I used to get the inner nut reasonably tight. So the new carburetors have effectively cured the problems that the bike had. So that's job done. I should point out that I found out later that the way people get round the terrible problem of getting the inner carburetor mounting nuts tight is that they take out one of the studs, and instead of using a nut on the stud, you use an Allen screw, a hexagon cap head screw. So you're screwing into the alloy of the manifold instead of screwing a nut onto the steel stud. Anyway, that's that job covered. Thanks very much for watching. All the best.